Kia ora, team. Well, all the talk is about the 1.21 experimental release, which is out now for Xbox and PC, and what that means for the DayZ game going forward. Obviously, if you are familiar with PlayStation, PlayStation doesn't get an experimental release. And if we go back and have a look through some of the experimental releases before and how they've played into the final update, which PlayStation hopefully should be getting, then we can probably expect to see an awful lot of the same things as we will see on Xbox, certainly from this initial release stage, although there may be some fine-tuning and tweaking later behind the scenes as they go through some of the beta testing and determine what things are not working and what things have been broken. But we'll have a look at some of the key features around some of this, and I'll include a link to the announcement page and the forum page, and you can go and have a look at the details yourself. So, what's all the big to do? Well, probably the first big to do is that this is essentially going to be a medieval themed update, and that a lot of the things that they're talking about is in relation to the crossbow apparently making a return. Maybe before my time, and that comes in a number of variants, as you can see there, and 3 different types of arrow, one of which is, or I should say bolt, one of which is what you will find, which is presumably a full properly made bolt, presumably has more damage, travels further, etc. You have a simple stick bolt, which presumably is relatively inaccurate and doesn't do an awful lot of damage. And then there is a bolt that you can make with adjustments from feathers that you will now get from chickens. So when you kill a chicken, you will now get feathers, and you can use that to adjust your bolts. What damage they do, what the relative percentage damage they do, and everything else is still unknown at this stage, as is, modifications to crossbows with sights, zeroing, distance, etc. All these things are things that we will find out more of in due course. So, moving on to the rest of it, what else is happening? Well, they're making some changes to try and stop multiple account spamming, which is something that happens a lot to consoles. We'll see how that goes. They're also putting in some rebalanced quick slots. They have this new fall damage system. They've changed some brightness and lighting, some other service-side things, which you can see. One of the things I picked up on looking at this avatar here is slightly different body models, body shapes. I guess we'll see what happens with that. And I've included snippets from here on in of what's on the official accounts in relation to chainmail and all the other medieval bits and pieces that they're bringing up, and a whole raft of bugs that they are apparently fixing. Personally, I've had a look through all of that. You can feel free, I'll include the link. I haven't seen some fixes that I'd really like to see. The issue with crouching and climbing up steps into some buildings really drives me nuts. Some steps that you can't walk up, you have to kind of climb up for some strange reason, and issues with defending and walking backwards on the PlayStation, certainly with infected who can apparently pass through you and then they get glitched in the wall, and that causes issues as well. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll wait and see. The big questions are probably twofold. One is there going to be a server wipe? At this stage, they haven't confirmed whether there will or will not be a server wipe. And the second thing is, when do we get the full drop? If it's anything like the last one, 2.5 weeks. But, I mean, I guess we'll see. So, there you go. We'll wait and see. PlayStation